OGA, MH370, the Nazca Mummies. We've got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, let's just get right to it. This is per the think tank. The CIA took down their org chart with the Office of Global Access references months ago. Very intriguing. Of course, it was caught by the Wayback Machine, so we know they did remove this about their Office of Global Access, the OGA, the CIA's newly revealed UFO program that perform UFO crash retrievals and farmed this technology out to private companies like Lockheed Martin to perform reverse engineering on. And maybe they knew that this was going to be exposed, and they attempted to hide it. But it also gets more interesting because Doug Wolf, who was mentioned in the article as being associated with OGA, well, let me just read from Claus. Doug Wolf, mentioned in this recent article on the CIA involvement in UFO crash retrievals, is a senior fellow at the Potomac Institute. Dr. Jennifer Buss, the CEO of the Potomac Institute, was a member of the NASA U.A.P. Independent Study Team. That's right, we have a possible UFO control group person as part of the NASA UFO study group, which of course is what you would expect to find, right? We have information saying that two of the members of Sean Kirkpatrick, the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's secret advisory board that he kept hidden from Congress of AARO, two of those people were UFO control group members as well, or retired control group members. So very interesting. Of course, we don't have that confirmed that, she is part of the program, but it is certainly interesting, isn't it? Laws has done some great research on this, and my hats are off to him. He also says Doug Wolf became the CEO of Blacklinks after leaving the CIA. Blacklinks was then sold to engineering giant Jacobs. The terms of the deal were not disclosed and gave Jacobs contracts with 14 out of 18 intelligence agencies. Intriguing, right? I think that is super intriguing that you have this big company, engineering giant, deeply embedded in the intelligence community, headed over by Doug Wolf. Who, as we now know, was involved in UFO crash retrievals and reverse engineering. Does that mean that Jacobs, can we add Jacobs to the list of entities that were part or are part of the UFO control group? We have Northrop Grumman, Boeing, of course, Lockheed Martin, and a few others, in addition to various organs of the U.S. government, like the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, etc. So we're able to map this stuff out now. And now we know certain members of the government that are part of this, or at least that are controlled by this, whether they're actually part of the program or if they're just corrupt, who knows? But, we're looking at obviously the Mikes in Congress and people like Sean Kirkpatrick and Ron Moultrie. So, so it's really interesting that we're able to map the UFO control group out to some extent now. So hats off to Claus for this research. Meanwhile, did Danny Sheehan just call Travis Taylor and Jay Stratton agents of the enemy, of the cover-up? Well, that is certainly what it looks like. Let's give a listen.
Now, the people who are the primary people moving to try to get some public revelation of this information come from within the Defense Department. They're honest, patriotic military people and intelligence people who are fed up with this type of criminal self-dealing that these aerospace industries are engaged in. And what they're doing is they're bribing, not only they're hiring the people, offering them hundreds of thousands of dollars as consultants to come over and help support their ability to keep this secret. You know, they've hired guys like Jay Stratton, they've hired guys like Travis, they've hired people like and others to come in and just take hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to be on their team to keep this secret. Now,
so there you go. Jay Stratton and Travis Taylor are part of the cover-up, says Danny Sheehan. They have been co-opted by the UFO control group. Now, I don't buy that. I hope you don't buy that. But if you do, let me know in the comments below. But I do want to go over a response by UFO Joe Mergia, who has a thoughtful response. He says, in my humble opinion, and from what I've heard in the past, what Danny Sheehan said is 100% bullshit. Shots fired, Danny. Shots fired. Joe goes on, do people realize that if it wasn't for Jay Stratton, we wouldn't be where we are now? He helped bring in Grush to go searching for U.A.P. programs that lack oversight. And he's saying, Jay Stratton, if you don't know, was the first director of the U.A.P. task force. And he is the one that engaged Dave Grush to do this investigation that is now become famous. Jay Stratton, of course, is also associated with Skinwalker Ranch, as is Travis, although later. But yeah, Jay Stratton helped bring in Grush to go searching for U.A.P. programs that lack oversight. How did Stratton know there was something for Grush to find? Allegedly, Stratton, like Admiral Wilson in 1997 and others before that, found the crash retrieval program via paperwork, I don't have the details, Joe says, and called for backup with the proper clearances. Enter David Grush. Lo and behold, 4 years later, Grush and his colleagues had not only confirmed it, but interviewed around 40 people, many, if not all, with first-hand information about these programs, and sent some of them to the ICIG. And here we are today. Grush deserves all the accolades he's received, but we owe a huge thank you to Stratton for getting the ball rolling. Also, people don't realize that Jay Stratton was able to accomplish a lot with very little resources at the U.A.P. task force, and Travis Taylor was right there with him. That's right. Travis Taylor was the chief scientist of the U.A.P. task force, and it's interesting to hear him talk about how the U.A.P. task force, or how afterwards, when it was taken over by the UFO control group, and we have Heckle and Jekyll, Bray and Moultrie giving their testimony at the first UFO hearing before Congress. Trying to debunk some of the things like the glowing green pyramids over the battle group that Travis says, nope, those are actually flying pyramids, guys. Those are flying pyramids. But Heckle and Jekyll went with the Mick West debunking. Very interesting, right? And yeah, some people are probably still believing that disinformation. And I can only encourage you to research that particular incident. But yeah, moving on. Taylor, the U.A.P. task force, featured people that were in the different services and agencies because Stratton built a huge team where we had a representative pretty much from every government agency in office. Stratton replies, that's about 40 different organizations. And there's that is from a talk between the two of them. Joe says that overall Sheehan is helping the cause, but at times he's his own worst enemy. This is not helpful. And it is interesting. I love Danny for a lot of the work that he's done. He is very political in his appointments to the or his recommendations to the gatekeeping committee that would ostensibly be established by the the U.A.P. Disclosure Act, the Schumer Rounds Amendment. His appointments, his picks were very political. And Travis Taylor is of the other party. And I don't know about Jay, but he and Travis are tight, so, they may be of like minds there. So I do wonder if Danny is letting his political side influence, the other side that could benefit ufology. Meanwhile, Neil deGrasse Tyson tells us why he doesn't want to study the alien bodies, the Nazca mummies. I'm not going to play it because there's music playing over the whole thing, and I get copyright claimed if I play it. But I'll just give you a quick summation. He says he is not going. He says he was invited to study the mummies, and he turned that opportunity down. Now I would be there in a heartbeat, just to see them. But he says that the reason he declined is because we need biologists studying these specimens, not astrophysicists. And I have to agree with him there. I mean, absolutely, we do need biologists studying the Nazca mummies. And we have some, and we have doctors and medically trained professors. And, so we do have some of that going on, and we need a lot more of that. Ideally, some people, in Western medicine, that would be, they would have more robust resources and able to do more complicated, in-depth analyses. And of course, their results will be taken more seriously in the, mainstream Western media. So I think, absolutely he's on point there. So as much as I like to give Neil deGrasse Tyson flack, he's got a point. Fortunately, there are biologists on this and doctors. And, here's some doctors with Thierry Jaman studying these guys. And, they're studying the skulls. And we can just skip to the end. They're talking about, there's the spine that connects the skull to the head, and the mouths don't move. There's no articulation of the mouth, so they could not chew. Did they have a liquid diet? Their bodies don't make a whole lot of sense unless they were able to float or fly or something like that, or they had some technology, possibly their implants, that allowed them to do things that their body physically could not do. Or at least, that we don't think they could. Obviously, we have not seen them in motion. We don't know how they moved or how their bodies really worked. But, just studying their skeletons, they don't seem to make a lot of sense based on our understanding of anatomy. But they do seem to be intact specimens. And these doctors come to that conclusion that, let me just skip to the...
Even if it is impossible to determine the nature of these two creatures, they remain adamant, however, that these two relics are genuine and...
There you go. The two relics are genuine, according to those doctors. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Meanwhile, I am keeping my eyes peeled for the press conference with Anna Paulina Luna and the others, and I will probably be doing an update on that in the situation involving the Schumer Rounds Disclosure Act later today. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think. Please give this video a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. Share this on social media. And of course, if you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, you can grab a coffee mug or a t-shirt. See the merch store below, or become a channel member, because channel members are rock stars. And I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.